Hi, hello, welcome to Club Week. Yes, it's Club Week once again, and the club have put together a really fun packed week of events for us all to look forward to and to enjoy. I'm here today, I'm cooking, surprise, surprise, I'm in the kitchen. I'm cooking a dish that is perfect once again for these bleak times. It's pretty much a store cupboard dinner, but it's great for when we're off, and we'll be off in our caravans and our motorhomes as soon as we possibly can. What is it? You might think it's lasagna. It sort of is, but it's a Mexican one. It's enchilada. This is ready to go in the oven, and it'll take probably 10 minutes just to bake this. So this is the one I made earlier, so you can see how quick it is really. So that's away, minding its own business. So enchiladas, right, I'll get it going and then I'll talk to you a little bit about what enchiladas actually are in due course. In my pan, I've already cooked down in a couple of tablespoons of oil, 1 chopped onion, 1 red pepper and a handful of small mushrooms. Now I've chopped them down small. And I've got them going because the thing about onions is that they benefit really from slowish cooking, 5 minutes or so on a low heat, and that brings out all the natural sweetness. If you think of caramelised onion chutney, that's how that happens. So I've already started this because I didn't obviously want to have a massive long video for you. So they've just cooked down on the heat, and I'm just going to increase the heat a little bit now so it might start to spatter and bubble a little bit. Things to go in this. Our seasonings next. Now, it wouldn't be enchilada if it didn't have any chili. Sorry if you don't like it, but enchilada actually means, apparently in Spanish, seasoned with chili. So I'm putting chili in, but do it to taste. You know, don't go mad. That's about, well, it's probably a teaspoonful, but I'm putting less in. You can always add a bit more. You can't really take it out. So that's that going in. You could use fresh chilies if you wanted to, or you could put a squirt of puree. Now I like to use cinnamon in anything Mexican. It's not widely done, but it is an authentic thing, and it gives it an extra. It's difficult. It doesn't taste like cake or anything, but it just gives it an extra oomph. So about half a teaspoonful of cinnamon, if you like. It's all if you like on what you've got in at the moment, and I'm just going to heat that up and get those spices. Yeah, I can smell them. And I've got a good tablespoon of ketchup. Again, that's optional. I like a bit of ketchup, I do. And I'm sure it's something that we do have in our store cupboards. Could use tomato puree, but what I like about this is its sweetness. If you've got a dish that's got a lot of tomatoes in it, tomatoes can be a little bit tart. So a bit of ketchup in the mix just takes that tomatoey edge away. Okie dokie dokie. And what next? Right, I'm going to use a couple of cans of chopped tomatoes. You don't need, I mean, it's probably too much for the dish, but this is great because you can have the mixture like with rice or make it into chili con carne. This is a vegetarian dish, no meat. You can do it with mince, you can do it with corn if you like, which also of course is vegetarian, but I'm not doing any of that, it's just pulses. So that's 2 tins of tomatoes in. I'm going to whack the heat up a little bit, and I'm going to season it with salt and pepper. I always think that dishes can take quite a bit of pepper, but you need really, for matters of health, to watch the salt intake. So I'm just going to give it a few twists with the grinder. Again, that's optional to everybody's personal taste. And I'm just going to heat that up now. So the only thing left to go in here that is pretty much essential to this dish is some pulses. The pulses are what's going to give us our energy. It's cheap, It's the vegetarian aspect of getting the protein and the vitamins that we need in a meal. And it could be just as simple as baked beans, and it's simply what you've got in the cupboard. Butter beans would be fine, anything like that. I've got a tin of those mixed beans, so they're in. I drained them in a sieve because they've got the liquid, you want to rinse that away in the sink. And I just happen to have a little can of our favourite baked beans. And again, that's got a little bit of sweetness in there as well. And, well, you can see where I'm going with this. It's a big pot of tomatoey, beautiful, rich colours. Now, this is my secret ingredient. It's not so secret that I haven't patented the idea or anything, but you may not have heard of it. And it's in anything like Chile or Mexican food. They use the Aztecs, because this dish goes right the way back to Dick's days. And they use cocoa or dark chocolate in the dishes. So if you're in your motorhome or caravan, you probably wouldn't have cocoa. Well, you might, but not like you'd have a tea bag or something. But you might have some dark chocolate. So I've got 4 chunks. And it's difficult it's one of those with ingredients. It should never be the sum of one thing. It's the sum of the parts that makes it really delicious. And it's all adjustable to your own personal taste. So I think that's quirky. I like that idea. So you could use, like I say, you could use cocoa if you wanted to. Or not at all. It's one of those things. So, now you might have noticed I've got a glass of red wine. At a certain time of day, I like to have a little sip, especially when I'm on my holidays in my caravan. It's lovely, isn't it? But you can put some in this dish, some red wine, if you want to. Again, it's entirely optional. I don't think it's a Mexican thing. Lovely. A bit of Malbec. Oh, it's delish. So, I would say, about that much, about half a glass. With alcohol, you really do need to heat it up because you want the taste, but you don't want the alcohol to make you feel tipsy or anything. Not like you would with a sherry trifle, perhaps. So we're just going to boil that through, and boiling the alcohol cooks the alcohol off. And there we are. So what you do with this now, really, is you whack the heat up because you want it to just reduce. When I say reduce, I mean it's like thicken. Okay, it needs to be thick. I've got some I made earlier for that left over, and you can see it's quite thick. So heat does that. So next, while it's doing its own thing, wraps. So enchiladas use these soft wraps that you might be more familiar with, like is a fajita. But my husband John, if you met John, I know, he can't be doing the fajitas because all stuff falls out and it messes it. We don't like it. But he'll eat this because it's sort of in the dish and you use a knife and fork, and he's like a knife and fork type of person. These are mini ones because it's all I had in the shop, but you can get big ones. And we simply put some of the mixture in. You could do that with pancakes and fill some cheese, oven. Okay? So, yeah, it's about ready anyway. So how long has that been? I haven't really been watching the clock, but it's not been very long. But yes, I'll just leave it there. So I hope we're all having a brilliant sort of new year. It's been difficult. It is difficult at the moment, but we're doing our own things, aren't we, to try to be doing the photographs and that for the club. And like I say, it is Club Week, so we're going to enjoy whatever's to come for that and keep our peckers up, really, best we can. Yeah. So if you want to try this meal, you can do it easily. I bet most of you have got these things in your cupboards now. Okay. So you need some sort of dish, camping friendly. I'm going to turn this off because it is done enough for our purposes, really. So I'm just going to put a layer of the beanie mixture in the bottom, because there's plenty of it. You won't need all this, there'll be leftovers. Okay, so I'm just going to put a layer there. And then I'll have to put my glasses on for this, folks, because it's still very hot. So just place, wrap it and drop it into the dish. If you didn't want to roll it, you could actually just layer it and it would be like a Mexican enchilada lasagna rather than the rolls. I've got wholemeal ones and I've got ordinary white ones, just because. So we're doing this, and you sort of bake it, which you've seen me put in that oven there, and it's doing all right. So I'll try to get this Speedy Gonzales shoes on for you. And we've got cheese. So I've grated some cheese of your choice. I generally use cheddar because it's really tangy and you can get it everywhere, of course. You could get some vegan cheese instead, and then it would be a vegan dish. Yeah, so I think this is going to be the last one I'm putting in there. Okay, in it goes. I'll hold that up for you. So far, okay. And then I got about 150 grams of cheese, but it's a lot that, you know, use what you fancy. And I'm just going to sprinkle some on top of those wraps. Just like you so. I feel a Keith Floyd moment coming on. Num num. And then you cover the whole bag of mashings. I think that's a Yorkshire saying, but you could correct me if I'm wrong. It may be from elsewhere. But the whole lot, the whole dish, with the tomato beanie mixture. Okay. Quite heavy and it's quite hot, so I'm putting my skates on, not literally. Okay, there we are. And then the final sprinkle of cheese. I'm going to use it all because I might as well. I've seen some recipes mix this up with some Greek yogurt as a topping, but I wanted to keep it to things that we've probably got in the house or in our caravan or motorhome standard. It's nothing worse than turning up on site, is there? And you haven't got the makings of your dinner and shops are shut because you've got held up in traffic or late out of work or whatever it is. So I always like to carry with me the makings of a store cupboard dinner, and the enchiladas is a perfect for us. Now I'm nearly done. I'll just get the one I made earlier out of the oven. Right, medium hot oven, I've put it on 180. I know in our caravans and motorhomes, if you're anything like me, I just put it on hot and hope for the best. Usually works out fine. Oh wow. Yeah, good. Enchiladas, I'm popping it on there. It's very, very hot. Do you know what I'm going to do with this one? Because there's only so many enchilada dishes that John and me can eat in a week. I'm going to freeze this. It'll be absolutely fine another day. So, that's me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for coming along into my kitchen. And have a great, fun club week. Bye for now.